What is up, guys? It is Smoke Show. We are doing Breakthrough on Twisted Steel today. One of my favorite maps in Battlefield because there's so many key points in this map. Whether it's Conquest or Breakthrough or Rush, it doesn't matter. So many key positions, so many places to hide. Hills, a big bridge you have to fight across as well. Super exciting. We're about 30 seconds away from getting this thing kicked off. Pretty exciting for me because I love this map so much. I really, I was just going to focus on the Japanese versus Americans. On the island hopping, like Iwo Jima, the Solomon Islands, and things like that. But I had to do this map because this is just so strategic of a map not to do, as the Americans are starting to file in, and they are starting to move already. The Germans, looks like the majority over here on the left side, or the right side flank for the on the American side. I think these are Germans, right? These are Germans, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Germans. But anyway, let me make sure I'm right here. Yes, that's American. Yeah, and that's German. Okay, Americans versus Germans. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart for, but anyway, so the objectives are going to be A, which is over here, and B. Pretty simple, but really hard to capture for either one. It looks like the Germans are actually moving up a nice force over here on the left flank, and the right flank, it looks like it's more heavily defended as Germans do get behind the Americans and are starting to fire upon them right now. It's a little bit better defended, but the only reason why it's so hard to defend over here is because the Germans could get up top and fire down on the Americans, and if they can take over this little area here, they can fire down as well. So it's going to be hard to defend that as Americans, and it looks like the Germans are absolutely flooding B right now, and it looks like they're going to be able to capture it pretty easily as a big plane crashes into the lines of the Germans. Looks like there was an American plane, but again, it's going to be very tough for the Americans to recapture this now, because that was just too quick of a capture for the Americans to give up. Let's go over to A. Looks like the Americans are defending this a little bit better. They don't have a lot of troops right now, though. They need to get more troops over here. Let's take a look behind here, see if there's any reinforcements. There are some snipers up here on the bridge. I'm not really liking that right now, because right now, I mean, you can be a sniper over here, but it's not really the objective they need to be going for, because right now the Germans are just absolutely flooding through the American soldiers at the moment. So they need to get a support class, a medic class, or an assault class to help defend A. Otherwise, it's not going to be looking very good for them. You see, I can count. Let's count how many snipers there are for the Americans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's just too many, guys. That's just too many. 9 out of what, 32? I think it was. Let's look at the scoreboard. Yeah, 9 out of 32. That's. I mean, you break that, you can only have 4 snipers. I mean, that gives you 5 extra guns all on the ground moving. See, this guy right here is about to get probably 3 or 4 kills. Oh, maybe not. He got noticed by Dios Ed. I'm not gonna try to say that. But anyway, so it looks like the Germans are going to capture A pretty quickly, because the Americans, again, they're just not paying attention with by using snipers. It's just a horrible way to lose a game. I'm not liking what the Americans are doing right now. It's just been it's just too easy right now for the Germans. Not much else going on over at B, but the Americans actually, they're trying to recapture B, but it looks like they're failing. There's just too many numbers, and it looks like A was captured. Yes, it was. So this was just too easy for the for the Germans. Now they're just gonna have to fall back and try to defend their next objective. Not very smart by the Americans. Too many snipers. But this is where it gets good, guys. The German force this battle has just been relentless. I mean, from the beginning, left side at Bravo, they were just relentless right away. And that's not a bad thing for sure. So this is going to be, for sure, a key point in this battle. Of course, the Germans are starting to push up a little bit as the Americans do immediately reinforce defenses, but we're going to see A right here in the middle, of course, and then B over here on this left side town, which we'll see what happens here, because this should be a little easier to capture than A. Defending this bridge is going to be very hard, but it's going to be very hard to attack it as well, because I mean it's like hand-to-hand combat, close combat. They do need to get more support, assault, and medics up there, though. In my opinion, again, too many snipers for my liking on the American side. What they need to do is take out this support tank right here. Make sure they take him out, because he could be really deadly to this group of soldiers as well. Nice defense over here by the Americans. Not too much resisting to capture B at the moment. I think the Germans need to go over there and capture that. Let's get down and dirty with it. They're just German after German lined up. Here comes a Tiger tank. This is going to be very deadly for the Americans. He's just waiting for the perfect shot. We'll have to jump out there because he might have gone AFK. So it looks like the American numbers are dwindling right now. The Germans are going to be able to push up. There are some more soldiers on the left side for the Americans than at B than the Germans. So the Germans are pushing up very steadily. The Americans need to get up there very quickly. This right here, it's not going to be enough. They need to get up very close to the Germans. That was a very bad decision by that guy. Looks like the Americans are just not doing a very good job at strategic defending at the moment. They're still holding on to A, but it looks like there are just way too many German soldiers to really do anything. It looks like they might be able to, the Germans are going to be able to capture A, though, because the reinforcements are just, there's just not enough for the Americans. We'll have to come back to them here in a moment. We're going to go over to B real quick and see what's going on here. Not much going on at B. There are starting to be more soldiers defend B, but nothing, most of the German force over here at A. Just so many American soldiers getting shot left and right. Not a steady enough force coming to A to defend it, as the Germans still just push it on the Americans. Let's see what Lacram, I guess his name is doing. Looks like he's shooting at the feet of some Germans. He needs to be very careful here, otherwise he's going to get spotted pretty easily. Nice kill there. Looks like the Americans are starting to get a little bit of a force put up there. The Germans are trying to flank around B to see if they can make a move, and they are starting to get a little bit of force over here at B as well to try and capture it. Let's get into a German soldier's eyes real quick. Let's see, is this a sniper? This is support, but he needs to be careful of some snipers. He does get sniped. So the Americans are starting to get up a little bit of a force again, and the Germans are starting to dwindle. They need to be careful. The Germans need to be very careful not to overpopulate the left flank at B and still be able to hold A as well. Because that's key. It's tough. Oh, Lord. Poor man. So the Germans, I think this might be enough for the Germans to hold, but I don't know actually, because the Americans are starting to get more soldiers coming up this bridge to defend A. And it looks like these soldiers over here are trying to get to the side of the Germans at B. It could be a nice strategic move for them, but he does get sniped there. Let's see what Poljan Void does. He does some see German soldiers crossing this river, and the Germans actually are capturing B, so the Americans need to capture A back, and they are slowly doing that as the German forces do start to dwindle a little bit. They need to take out this tire tank, otherwise they are in big trouble. The Americans are from taking heavy casualties. And he does take out a couple of American soldiers and putting fire downrange as the Americans still and do capture A, but the bad thing is the Germans capture B, so they swap flags, and the Germans are now going to start spawning to capture A. There are a lot of dead American soldiers right now on the battlefield, not looking good for the Americans, but the Americans also need to take out this tank right here because he is just absolutely obliterating their forces, and it's not a good thing. But again, the Americans are having a steady flow of reinforcements coming up the bridge. A couple of soldiers getting up on top. That's a nice little view right there. I've never seen this before. I'll be honest with you, I've played a lot of games. I never really thought about doing this. So the Americans do start to build up some reinforcements here. But this tank, again guys, they need to take out this tank, otherwise it's going to be a huge problem for the Americans as the Germans start to capture A back. But let's see, let's check out B. B is getting contested by the Americans. There's still a nice little force to take it back. As this American Lecram, we were on board with him earlier, he's getting a bunch of kills as he takes out a couple soldiers here. And the Americans are going to capture B back, but the Germans get A. Again, about to swap flags or objectives in this battle. So it looks like the Americans have a steady force over here at B. Let's go check out A. They do have some nice reinforcements coming up. Again, this tank is still firing. He's not going to be able to do too much over or back there, but the Americans still need to take him out. Otherwise, they're going to have trouble getting Alpha back. Let's get on board with Photopoulos, or whatever his name is. Butchering names again. Gotta love doing that. Nice kill there. Can he get that kill? He cannot, unfortunately. Let's get an overview of this battle. Alright, so Let's do this. Alright, so at B, the Germans are starting to push at B, but it looks like the Americans did capture A back. That is tough for the Germans. You see the colors, the red being Americans and blue being the Germans. It looks kind of even right now. The Germans are pushing up a little support truck or tank or whatever you want to call it, and let's see what they can do here. The Americans do have a nice little vantage point as they do start to push up some more reinforcements through A, but the Germans are holding steady, not taking too many casualties, not as many casualties as the Americans are. They could push and make a big move right here. Let's get out of this and check it out. Nice flamethrower by the Germans right there. It does scare off some troops, and they are starting to capture A back. It looks like they might be able to do it. They might be able to pull it off. The Germans might be able to get A. It looks like they're going to be able to take A easy, as they have a good 20 troops at A defending it, and they do and are going to be able to move on to the next objective. Great job by the Germans. They still have a good 160 troops or so left as well. The Germans do start firing on the right side. Nice little shot right there. Starting to fire on some American troops. Let's go take a look and see what it looks like over here. You can see the bullets flying in from the bridge as they do start taking a ton of fire over here. Still firing over here at the bridge. The Germans start to push up. This is going to be B. This is going to be a very hard point for the Germans to capture here at the bridge. And let's see, where is the next objective? A, here it is. And the swamps. I always thought this one was hard to attack, because, I mean, there's just so many places to hide. You know, trees, rocks, little bunkers like this, little fortifications. But it looks like that the Germans are actually going to flood off the bridge and go for Alpha immediately. And not too many troops defending A for the Americans. I don't like this for the Americans. Let's see how many troops they have over here at B. Alright. Alright, so that's okay, I guess. The Americans actually have more troops over here at B defending than A, but it looks like they're going to lose A fairly quickly because they just weren't ready for it at all. But again, the Germans can't just turn to B and all rush to B. They have to defend A as well as attack B. So if I were the Germans, I would send about half of this force and push over to B, and then leave the rest to defend it. Because it looks like the tanks are holding off A pretty decently, as the Americans are just taking heavy casualties over here. This tank right here has just been killer. Let's see what he's 29-0, guys. Unstoppable 22. He's definitely unstoppable, that's for sure. Americans don't have many tank support right now. See, this guy needs to get up there pretty quickly. A nice Sherman tank. I mean, he's just chilling. He needs to get up there. He is getting some nice shots on this tank right here, but it's not going to be enough to stop the Germans from advancing. Let's go check over at B. It looks like the Germans are taking over B. Oh man, this could be bad for the Americans. I am not liking the Americans' defense whatsoever. It's getting to hand-to-hand combat, but it's not enough for the Americans to hold. All right. This might be the last defense for the Americans, if I'm not mistaken. I think the flags are going to be here and here, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, is there 3 flags on this one? Oh, there's 3 flags. What? Oh. Oh, wow. Wow. Alright, so the Germans are gonna be holding 3 fronts right now, or attacking 3 fronts, but the Americans have to hold 3 fronts, so I don't know how this is gonna go, to be honest with you. Americans look like they have troops on all flags right now. Let's see. Oh, there's just constant fire over here. From the Americans. Nice little defensive line right here. If we get a view from above, you can see the defensive lines pretty nicely. I think I got a little too far there. There we go. So right now what I'm seeing is the Germans are actually wanting to push up to C first, and they're doing a pretty good job of it right now. The Americans need to push over. They need to get some more reinforcements at B and get this hill fortified immediately, because the Germans are pushing. Their whole force is technically at C right now. So the Americans just need to push over at B, get this whole entire hill fortified, and make sure that the Germans cannot push up this hill, because if they let them push up, it's all down the hill battle for the Germans, and I think it's going to be over. So the Americans are starting to put up a little bit of a fortification line right here. Some more troops on the way to support. A nice little sniper area up here. Little sniper's nest on the bridge to help out their troops on the ground. So I think this is possible for the Americans to defend. The way they have it set up, you can see the battle line right through here, and they just have to hold this hill. We're just gonna call it Bunker Hill, and I think they'll be okay as long as no Germans are going around to get A. Let's get down dirty with it. So Germans taking heavy casualties, as this guy right here, Cartel High Times, is doing a decent job. In fact, he's got some nice kills, 37 kills, 6 deaths in this game alone. He's gonna get another kill there. Gonna be able to pick up his teammate. Now, again, guys, these are the type of moves that can be very vital in a game for the Americans, because he's taking out multiple guys that can help Americans replenish troops, and also by killing troops diminish the numbers of the German time of capturing all 3 of these objectives. Let's get out of this real quick. Alright, so it looks like the Germans are trying to take a different move and try and go under this little sniper area / nest and try to go around and see what they can do. See if they can capture maybe A. Let's get on with Greer 3, because he's making an interesting move right now. He's gonna have to get around this barbed wire that he's just gonna weirdly run right into. He's wasting a lot of time right now. Alright, so he is going to be able to get through this. And possibly... Oh, he does get taken down. But the Germans, I completely went off to a weird area for a second there with Greer. The Germans did make a push on B, but it looks like the Americans are starting to capture B back. So, nice strategic move by the Germans. The Germans still hold C. A couple of Americans still fighting down there. Cartel High Times just died. So he was holding there for a long time, but the Americans do capture B back. Nothing going on at A. I do hear a missile. Where's it coming from? Here it is. It's going to C. Holy cow, nothing happens there. So it seems like that was a German bomb that was trying to kill off the last of the Americans at C so they could advance up the hill at B. There are some Germans here at A capturing A. The Americans are not noticing it. They need to reinforce B as much as they can. There should be no snipers in the game right now because now the Germans are about to sandwich the hell out of the Americans. Something needs to happen for the Americans, but it's not looking good for them as the Germans only have 50 men left. The Germans are starting to push up from A. And let's see what's going on over at C. I think the Americans are focused too much on C right now. They need to just attack this area or defend this area. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very bad situation for them as B is starting to get captured by the Germans. They're not even paying attention over here. They don't even notice that it's getting captured, and B is about to go down to the Germans. A is fine. C is fine. B is getting captured by the Germans, and it looks like the Germans are going to take advantage of this game and win. Oh my, wait a second. The Americans just started capturing C. Oh my god, I can't believe this. B just got captured by the Germans. A got captured by the Germans. And at the last second, the Americans decide to push to C because that was their only hope. And they capture C back and make a stunning recovery from losing B and A. But now the Americans have to fight Germans on the top of a hill. And it looks like these Americans are in a tough position on the bridge to attack the Germans at B or at A, and the Americans are trying to do something over here. One American trooper is trying to do something over here, but he's not going to be able to do anything, it looks like, because well, maybe I'm not going to pay attention to that guy. We'll pay attention to the main battle. A nice bomb right. What happened? I missed it. Germany captured. Okay, they captured. I guess they missed that last little bit right there. It looks like Germany captured that last objective at C. That was a great battle. I love this map so much. Again, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I will see you guys next video.